What's up, everybody? Noah Kaser back here for another episode of Noah Kaser Live. Let's get right into this. I got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into this. We're going to be talking about the brand new Mickey Mouse horror movie, The Mousetrap, as well as Netflix scrapping the Zack Snyder franchise, Army of the Dead, and maybe even Rebel Moon. Alien Romulus is going to have a massive opening weekend. Amazon is looking to put 16 movies in theaters every single year, and why more streamers should do that, i.e. Netflix. Are we getting an Inside Out 3? Sounds like it's just been confirmed by Bob Iger. Gambit might be getting a solo movie if God and Kevin Feige lets that happen, says Channing Tatum, as he's putting it in their hands. And Warner Brothers is scrapping the brand new adult animated film called Fixed. So, why does that matter? And is Sony going to get a new distributor, or is it going to streaming? As well as looking at the box office, Netflix top 10, and what's coming out this week in theaters and on streaming. So let's get right into it. First, we're going to be talking about this movie, The Mousetrap. The Mousetrap is the brand new Mickey Mouse horror movie that everybody was so excited about, mostly because it's a Mickey Mouse horror movie. It's a Mickey Mouse horror movie. Have we learned nothing from Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Have we literally learned nothing? This movie is awful. It's an awful movie. The acting is terrible. The story is very formulaic, but then again, it's a slasher. What do you want me to say? It broke new ground. The Mousetrap is all about this girl named Alex. It's her 21st birthday, but she's stuck at the amusement arcade on a late shift, so her friends decide to surprise her. But a masked killer dressed as Mickey Mouse decides to play a game of his own with them, which she must survive. So, this movie does have one saving grace, and that is Sophie McIntosh. I thought she was really solid in here as Alex. Besides that, this movie is garbage. This movie is garbage. Not one thing can save this movie. Because the acting is terrible. The dialogue is terrible. And the entire thing is terrible. This movie did not need to be made. It did not need to be made. They only made this because Steamboat Willie went into the public domain. That's it. Steamboat Willie went into the public domain. And you hear the sound. You hear that throughout the entire movie. You see the animated classic short playing throughout the entire film, and it's just used so poorly. It's used so poorly. The mask looks cheap. It's poorly shot. It's poorly written. It's not scary. They don't even give you a satisfying ending. And did I mention that Mickey Mouse teleports? The killer can teleport. In The Mousetrap, the Mickey Mouse killer teleports. Isn't that great? Now, this movie really is awful. But Sophie McIntosh is a saving grace. I really loved her in this movie. I want more for her career because I think she goes a little bit further. She needs to get better acting roles, though. Whoever her agent is needs to get better acting roles. This movie is awful. It's not scary. It's poorly written. It's a low-budget, micro-budget film that needs to be just forgotten about, as it will be, because this will not get an audience. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey got an audience because it was this bad. However, that went to limited theaters. This one went right to streaming. I rented this for $3.99 on Fandango at Home, formerly known as Vudu. I'm going to end up giving The Mousetrap a 1 out of 5 stars for Sophie McIntosh, and a solid little idea that could have been fun if they leaned into it. But The Mousetrap is awful, so I'm giving this an F. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you going to watch The Mousetrap? Do you have no interest? Did you like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So next up, we're going to go into the brand new Netflix news that just came out yesterday. Netflix is canceling all the Army of the Dead plans. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, one, it's Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder isn't everybody's favorite guy in Hollywood right now. He's not. I don't care how many dollars he's made people. I really don't care. What this is all about is that it's mostly his way of doing movies. This way is awful because what him and Netflix did with Rebel Moon is they decided to make a director's cut and they decided to make a Netflix cut. They saw what HBO Max did. However, here's what HBO Max did not do. Max did not tell people, hey, do you want the Snyder cut? We'll give you the Snyder cut. We had to beg and complain and moan that we wanted a Snyder cut. I was not a Snyder cut fan. I enjoyed the 2017 version of Justice League. I did. I enjoyed it. I did. What do you want me to say? I really did enjoy it. My issue with it is this. When fans complain, fans sometimes get what they want, but not like this. Warner Brothers didn't have to put $75 to $100 million into this movie to get it finished. They didn't need to do that. And now they're asking for this cut, and this cut, and this cut, and this cut. They were asking for cuts, they got it. Snyder thought that they wanted this version. Netflix knew that if they did this, they might get some viewers. Sorry to break it to you, pal. Your viewer numbers did not really do much for you because it's not in the Netflix top 10. It was not in the Netflix top 10 the day it came out. It was SpongeBob. SpongeBob was number one. But this comes to us from comicbook.com saying, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead universe reportedly scrapped by Netflix. They're saying this. Army of the Dead fans just got some bad news. I am one of them. Zack Snyder's horror action series won't be getting that animated series that was previously hinted at. Netflix isn't breaking ties with the fan favorite director just yet. He and Deborah Snyder still have Twilight of the Gods hitting this year. The Wrap first reported the news of the Army of the Dead, the Army of the Dead hitting a snag, though. We are very ambitious with everything, Deborah said before pointing out Army of the Dead isn't completely 6 feet under. She pointed out there has been plans for a Halloween-themed experience at Six Flags parks. Oh boy, isn't that exciting. So, hope springs again. It wasn't long ago that Zack Snyder was talking to Games Radar about his idea for an Army of the Dead follow-up. I'm a huge fan of the Army universe, began Snyder. We were working on and are trying to get back up our Army animated series, which was really cool. We recorded the whole thing. We recorded all the voices, Christian Slater, all these cool people, super fun. He added in that we really did this same thing of developing this big world-building concept as Rebel Moon. My idea for Army 2 is Planet of the Dead, which is a much more scales in a crazy way. So, super excited about it. Right now, obviously, I'm trying to run parallel courses with these two monsters, but I'm really excited that people are excited to see more of the Army universe because I love it. So, before we go on to this, let's talk about it for a minute. This is something that is infuriating because nobody wants more of the Army of the Dead. I haven't heard one person say they want more of the Army of the Dead universe. I think it's too late. I really think it's too late. Once that movie came out, sure, it went into a limited theatrical run. Army of the Dead went into a limited theatrical run, and it made very little money. Very little money. Because you didn't put it in a wide release. Make that a wide release movie. You make money on the movie. Instead, you just throw it out there, and it's just, haha, here you go. It's on Netflix within 2 weeks. That's not how you market a movie. That is not how you market a movie. This movie needed a lot more press. And it did not get that press. What it did get is a nice little 2-week spot on Netflix where people were watching it. Besides that, everybody's forgot about it by now. Rebel Moon came out. Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2, I heard they were awful. I didn't watch them. I heard the director's cut Part 1 was nice. But, I really don't think it's that big a deal. because they're not number one or number two. No one cares about Snyder right now. You Snyder fans, yes, you are going to watch everything he puts out. I will watch Twilight of the Gods if it's not 3.5 freaking hours, which we will look at that in just a minute. But I think it's interesting that they thought they were getting a sequel when we have heard nothing about movement on it since that little taste. We didn't even know we were going to get a second Army of the Dead movie called Planet of the Dead. But what I think really is interesting is that he thinks he's getting sequels for Rebel Moon. You think you're getting sequels for Rebel Moon? Sure. Not with Netflix. But let's take a look at this. Twilight of the Gods is still coming. Snyder fans need no worry. Netflix has his animated series still on the docket. Zack Snyder presents Twilight of the Gods, an all-new, daring, and spectacular animated version of Norse mythology. In a mythical world of great battles, great deeds, and great despair, Leif, a mortal king, is saved on the battlefield of Sigrid, an iron-willed warrior with whom he falls in love. On their wedding night, Sigrid and Leif survive a wrath of terror from Thor, which sets them on a crew of crusaders on a against all odds and merciless mission for vengeance. This historic story of love, loss, and revenge is journey to hell and beyond, across fantastical lands, battlefields fierce and bloody, and wars waged against gods and demons. So, I really don't think that this is anything. I really don't think that this is anything to be up in arms about. I really think that this is something that you could. I really think this is something that you could end up really wanting to see. If it's good. I enjoyed Army of the Dead. It didn't get a lot of fanfare. I've enjoyed Man of Steel. I liked Justice League. I have not watched the Snyder Cut because it's 4 hours long. I did enjoy a couple of his other stuff. But here's the thing. You need to make good projects. And if you leave off on a bad note, you're not going to have people excited for your next movie. Unless you're somebody like a Martin Scorsese or a Steven Spielberg or a Quentin Tarantino or a Jordan Peele, where maybe your last film was not the greatest thing in the world, but you're a legendary director or you have a name. Zack Snyder, he has his fans and he has his legit haters. Scorsese, Tarantino, Peele, and Spielberg are some of the greatest doing right now. Denis Villeneuve, give him this. You could have gave him this, he would have killed it. He would have killed it. Instead, now we get this. But there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you upset about Army of the Dead being canceled? Or did you not know there were any plans for it? Because I kind of forgot that there were plans for it anyways. I'm not going to lie. I like the first movie, but it's not all that great. It's fun. It's 2.5 hours of fun. That's it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. Next up, we're going to go into this. So we have a brand new movie opening next week that I will be going on Thursday night to see. I'm going to the 3:45 showing of Alien Romulus. So Alien Romulus is looking to have a big opening weekend. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago. This is great news for them. Because if you look at what the past couple of Alien films have done, Prometheus did really well, as did Alien Covenant. That did very, very well. I liked Covenant. Alien Romulus. This is coming from Slash Film. Alien Romulus, poised to be the perfect killing machine at the box office. We're going to go down here and read this. It has been a full 7 years since a new and the franchise has graced the silver screen. If it would stop moving. Director Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant arrived in 2017 and failed to generate enough interest to justify a continuation of those prequels. Now under The Disney regime, the Xenomorphs are back in action again, this time with a new director behind the camera for Alien Romulus. With a stripped-down premise, the promise of lots of practical creature effects and excitement from horror fans, this one is poised to be a late summer surprise at the box office. Romulus is eyeing a $41 to $51 million range when it opens next weekend per Box Office Theory. That would be a huge win for Disney and 20th Century Fox, and 20th Century Studios. The film is directed by Fede Alvarez of Don't Breathe and Evil Dead 2013 fame. Covenant opened to $36.1 million and finished its run with $74.2 domestically. It only earned $240.8 million worldwide, far less than 2012's Prometheus's $403 million worldwide. In short, Alvarez's film is set up for a nice run, particularly if reviews are strong. We don't know when the reviews are up. We don't know. What we do know is that there's a lot of buzz for this. I'm seeing a lot of buzz for this. They are doing a lot of just press. They're doing a lot of marketing with having these face huggers climbing across just the streets of New York, attacking people. You have people with these face hugger masks on. Try saying that 5 times fast. Face hugger masks on. That is one that I think is really awesome. I'm looking forward to this. I will be watching all of the Alien films before I go and see Alien Romulus. And next Friday, I'll be giving you my ranking of all the Alien films. But $41 to $50 million opening weekend? That's huge. That's huge for this. Because not only can you potentially take out Deadpool and Wolverine at the box office at number 1, you might be able to. I don't see it saying it at number 1 for a whole lot longer because it's the only competition. This is the only competition, as we'll take a look at on Tuesday when we look at the box office, because Borderlands is going to bomb. It Ends With Us is not going to be a massive hit, which I'm seeing It Ends With Us on Monday. This is good news for them. And if we want more Alien stuff, this needs to be a hit. It not only needs to be a good movie, it needs to make money. So I'm looking forward to it. $41 to $51 million. What are your thoughts? Do you think that this is going to make big money at the box office? Are you excited about Alien Romulus? And will you be seeing it this weekend in theaters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So, next up, I got to take a drink break because my voice is just me talking for like an hour and a half. It's going to be a bit. So, tea break. All right. So, next up, we're going to look at this. Amazon looking at 16 theatrical releases per year. This is big news as well. I'm going to add something onto this, though. Why should Netflix do it? Well, we're going to take a look at the article first. Amazon is thinking of releasing 16 films yearly in theaters. So, and this is going to be by 2027, says IndieWire. So from IndieWire, Amazon wants to grow to 16 theatrical releases per year by 2027. Doug Liman still has a bone to pick with Amazon MGM Studios over what happened to Roadhouse, but he and others may put that bad blood aside if Amazon is serious about expanding as it's hinting around town. As first reported in Reuters, Amazon and MGM want to ramp up to 16 theatrical releases per year by 2027, which is a source with knowledge told IndieWire is accurate. This is something that's a little bit interesting. That's more than double that. That's more than double where the companies are at now, with just 6 theatrical release titles planned in 2024. The 16 titles also doesn't include any movies Amazon won't release outside the U.S. The movies that it might acquire from other studios, sometimes in the 5 to 6 films range, or even the movies include the movies it intends to release directly to streaming on Prime Video. That would be a major increase in output. And 16 releases, it's unclear and unlikely they'd all be wide releases, would put them in the ballpark of traditional Hollywood studios like Universal Pictures, as well as help it rival Netflix's overall film output. The Amazon Prime Video chief officer, Mike Hopkins, is quoted in the Reuters piece about Amazon's ambitions to develop as a real media company something more than just a perk for Amazon Prime subscribers who want next free day shipping. And he said that this vision came from Jeff Bezos himself. We don't want to have a salt burn and then nothing else for that audience for 6 months. This is expanding on it. Its expansion goals have more than been clear in Amazon's recent aggressive push into live sports, including the Thursday Night Football deal with the NFL and the just inked 11-year deal with the NBA. So, why is this a big deal? Well, they have released a couple of films. They did release Air. Air was in theaters. They will also be having Blink Twice. Blink Twice is going to be one that comes out in just a couple weeks on the 23rd. 2 weeks from today, actually, with Channing Tatum. The holiday film Red One with Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans. The Sundance acquisition. This is a Aubrey Plaza film called My Old Ass. The documentary Frida. Down the road movies like, this sounds good. Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling and Nia DaCosta's Hedda. Figure to be theatrical releases, while something like the Accountant with Affleck is intended to be a streaming exclusive. Why should Netflix do this? Because Netflix is making nothing off of their movies. Nothing. Imagine if you saw Rebel Moon in theaters. Would you be mad? Yeah, I would have been mad. But think about this. Instead of just releasing your Oscar-worthy movies in theaters, release them all. Amazon and Netflix need to release them all. I would have liked to have seen My Spy in a theater, and it was supposed to go to theaters. It was. I would have liked to have seen a movie like, I don't know, Divorce in the Black would have been a nice one to see in theaters with a nice full crowd. For Netflix, you could have done, the SpongeBob movie, Same Bikini Bottom, Sandy Cheeks movie. You could have done that. You would have made a lot of money off of that. You could have done Red Notice. You could have done The Adam Project. You could have done a massive release for The Irishman. You could have done a massive release for Marriage Story. You could have done a massive release for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or Mank. Instead, you didn't do that. You decided to put them straight on streaming. And now all the companies are learning that's the model that you are losing. Yes, Netflix is profitable. It's profitable. Issue is it took them 11 years to do that because they aren't releasing anything in theaters. If you put a movie in theaters, you're going to make money. You're going to make some sort of money. You will make some sort of money, more money than you would by just sticking it on Netflix. I don't care about your ad revenue for your ad-supported tier. That's stupid. That is a stupid thing to bring up. Because, yes, they're making money. They're making money. My thing is, you make money at the box office. That's where money is made, at the box office. So, I've said my piece on that. What do you think about Amazon looking to release 16 theatrical releases per year? I'm pretty sure that maybe only 2 or 3 of those are going to be wide releases. The other ones are going to be their smaller independent films or the films that they just want to get for some Oscar consideration. They might not all be wide. They might not all be wide releases, which is fine. But give us something like, I don't know. Give us something like Red One. Yeah, give us Red One in theaters. Give us Blink Twice in theaters. Give us My Old Ass in theaters. Give us a bunch of other films in theaters. But there's my thoughts on that. And what do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So, this is going to be a big topic here because they have not announced this yet. This is not announced yet. This has kind of been confirmed by Bob Iger. Bob Iger was asked about on Good Morning America today about Inside Out 3. We will read that in just a minute. But Inside Out 2 made a lot of money, so Inside Out 3 is confirmed. This is coming from an interview with Good Morning America where Bob Iger was talking about the D23 that's happening this weekend. They're actually going to be doing the movie stuff here in just about 2 hours. So I'm looking forward to that. But Bob Iger previews D23 and what's next for blockbuster movies, Moana and Inside Out. This is interesting. Iger spoke about another fan favorite movie, Inside Out 2, that earlier this year broke records at the box office, earning $1.5 billion to date and becoming the highest grossing animated film of all time, globally, according to Disney. Second biggest animated film of all time behind Disney's The Lion King 2019. I digress. When asked by Jarvis, who is the interviewer, whether fans could expect an Inside Out 3, Iger said he would love to see that movie. I'll just leave it at that, he said. So, he pretty much confirmed that we're getting an Inside Out 3, and why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we get an Inside Out 3? That makes money. It makes money. That's what you want. You want your movies to make money? Cool. That's all you needed to do. That's really all you need to do. Make good movies. Fun marketing. Put it in the right date. Inside Out 2? That's making money. It's making big money. It's at $1.5 billion. It's the biggest movie in years. The first Inside Out only made $850 million. Right now, Inside Out 2 has this much money coming in. It has earned $1.559 billion. That is what is insane. $1.5 billion for a animated film. It's still not going to reach The Lion King. It needs to make another $100 million, and it's slowing its pace down. It's almost done with its 100-day... Well, it's slowing down in its 100-day release window, but after all, everything is said and done with the merchandising, the Blu-ray sales, the digital sales, I'm pretty sure it'll have made them at least $1.6, $1.7 billion, and that's not even including the money it's made in the parks for them. But that is massive. We do have an Inside Out 3 coming. We will talk about that more on Tuesday's show when I go over everything that they announced for Marvel, the Disney slate, the Disney Plus TV show slate, as well as the Star Wars slate next Tuesday. Are you excited for an Inside Out 3? Do you think we can get a lot more? Are you excited for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to go into the comments real quick, and we are going to see who is here. Hello, Michael. Welcome. It's awesome to see you. Great to see you, dude. I hope to be on a stream with you on a buddy channel or on your channel very, very soon. So next up, we're going to go into one of the last topics I have here. I only have 2 more topics for the show. So let's get right into it. Gambit solo movie in God's hands and in Kevin Feige's hands, says Channing Tatum. So he wants his own solo movie. That's awesome. He was great in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's making a crap ton of money. People are loving the Gambit character. He's vile. He is R-rated. He has no filter, and that's what we want in a Gambit. This is coming from Joe Blow. Channing Tatum, if I can move that. Channing Tatum hopes to finally get the Gambit movie made after his Deadpool and Wolverine appearance. The Deadpool and Wolverine film not only gave Hugh Jackman a chance to play Wolverine again, but a smattering of actors got to reprise their past superhero roles, except for Channing Tatum. He would finally be able to portray Gambit for the very first time. This is something else here. He had no forward momentum, and the movie was in development hell. The meta jokes would be flying through the film about how Gambit had never quite gotten the chance to shine. It seemed to be even less likely that now that Fox was bought by Disney, and the X-Men would finally be making their official introduction into the MCU. However, the multiverse is there. So with the multiverse, now anything is possible. According to Variety, Tatum is still holding out hope for his Gambit solo movie. That his Gambit solo movie can be made when he addressed the issue at the premiere of his new film Blink Twice. When asked if his wish will finally get granted, Tatum responded, "I sure hope so. From my mouth to God's ears. Write it into existence, my friend, please." He had also told Marvel that he still wants to make the movie. I've said it. I've of course said it, he said. I've been wanting this for the past 10 years. It's in Bob Iger's and Kevin Feige's hands. I pray to God. A Gambit solo movie isn't the only thing to be willed into existence. Deadpool Wolverine star Ryan Reynolds also would bring back former co-star Wesley Snipes to reprise his role as Blade. The cameo became a hot topic amongst fans, and while MCU is still figuring out what to do with Mahershala Ali's incarnation, Reynolds has recently called out to Marvel to give Wesley Snipes one last hurrah as the Daywalker. So, this is very interesting. I think this can be something. I really think this can be something. I am looking forward to seeing what happens here. With this can either go one of two ways. The Gambit movie isn't going to happen. Because, one, how do you put Gambit in there right now? I don't think they have him slated in there right now. You can put him in an Avengers movie. You can introduce him in the X-Men. You can introduce him in maybe like an X-Men series. You can do something like that, but it has to be a different variant because it can't be this variant. I don't know what you do here. Or you give the fans what they want. If the fans want it, if there's enough outcry for it, if you think there's enough for a Gambit, you got plenty more characters to touch. You might as well use some Gambit. People like Gambit. He has a nice name on him right now. This is something that I'm looking forward to. What do you think about a Gambit solo movie? Do you think we'll get one? Are you interested in a Gambit solo movie? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And the final topic that we're going to talk about before we go into our regularly scheduled topics every single week, this one is going to tick off some people. So, Warner Brothers scraps Fixed, an adult animated movie. Sony is looking for a new distributor or streaming options. So, they did cancel this film. A lot of people don't know what this was because it was finished. We haven't seen any marketing for it whatsoever. We just knew it was announced. It's a finished film. This movie is done. It's in the can. This comes from us from MovieWeb, and MovieWeb says this. Warner Brothers has scrapped plans to distribute Fixed, an adult animated movie from the mind of Hotel Transylvania director and Samurai Jack creator. I'm not even going to try and say that name. Fixed follows Bull, voiced by Adam Devine, a bloodhound who learns he is about to get fixed and goes on a wild adventure before he loses part of himself. The cast includes Idris Elba, Catherine Hahn, Beck Bennett, River Gallo, Bobby Moynihan, and many more. It would be one of the biggest adult-oriented animated films to get a release. But that is no longer happening. According to Variety, Warner Brothers and New Line scrapped its plans to release the film and has since reverted to Sony Animation Pictures, which developed it and worked with the director on the Hotel Transylvania films. Sony Pictures is now free to sell Fixed to another studio to distribute it. The film has already been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America, and production has been completed for nearly a year as the film has been waiting for distribution. If it can move. Come on. Warner Brothers Discoveries decision to abandon Fiege is disappointing, but not all that surprising. Despite the director being one of the biggest names to come out of Warner Brothers, fun cartoons with series like Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Primal, ever since David Zaslav became CEO of the company, the studio seems to have actively worked to dismantle the Cartoon Network legacy. Meanwhile, loyalty to the filmmaker, one that Warner Brothers used to pride itself on, with its long history being the home of directors like Clint Eastwood, Christopher Nolan, and Ben Affleck, seems to be a thing of the past. Fiege was not treated with the same fate as Batgirl, Scoob, Holiday Haunt, or Coyote versus Acme. Likely only was a tax write-off expense spared since Sony Animation developed it. Sony Animation developed it. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, what this does mean is that we can get more. We can get this on like a Netflix. If Sony wants to sell this to Netflix, they have a nice deal with Netflix. If Netflix wants to have an animated film, I say you stick it in theaters. Maybe sell it to Amazon. Amazon likes your adult animated stuff from Sony. Look at what they did. They gave them a Sausage Party series. I haven't seen it yet. What you also do is this. And I am lagging. There we go. But this is an issue because we need to get more. We need to get more of these adult animated things out. I like Big Mouth. I like Family Guy. I like The Simpsons. I liked Sausage Party. The issue was it didn't make a lot of money. The issue was you need to be careful because people see an animated movie, they think kids film. But there's that. I think you sell it to Netflix or Amazon. I think that's your only option. I don't see this going to theaters. It should. It should go to theaters. I think that maybe like a 20th Century Studios. Maybe Sony puts this out by themselves. Or maybe they sell it to Amazon and make it a movie release next year, a part of their 16 films in theaters. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and let me know your thoughts. So we're going to go into the comments. We're going to go into the comments before we go into our regularly scheduled stuff here. Michael says, did you hear about Borderlands flopping? Yes, I reported that on Tuesday. And am I ready for SmackDown tonight? Yes, I am. I am going to wrap the show up and I will be going in there. David Zaslav is terrible. See, I gotta disagree. Because here's the thing. He might not be making popular decisions, but in a leading role, you don't need to make popular decisions. You need to make decisions that makes you money. You need to make money-making decisions. What happens here is Batgirl gets axed. Everybody gets mad. Everybody gets mad. The people who saw it, though, saw that it was awful. They said it was virtually unwatchable. Look at Borderlands. Borderlands is awful. I've heard it's awful. I haven't seen it. I've heard it's a bad movie. So if Warner Brothers made that, they might have used that as a little bit of a tax write-off. This, I think this is a good idea. Because one, David Zaslav, yes, he's not making popular decisions. Scoob didn't make a whole lot of money because it didn't go to theaters. It didn't go to theaters. But this is one that I think is a bit of an issue. Coyote versus Acme. Oh, and as you bring up here, Coyote versus Acme rings a bell. Yes, this was a Looney Tunes and Human World, and it's basically like a lawsuit film. That's basically what it is. I think that the Coyote is suing and everything. It's one that was going to go to theaters. It was going to be coming out, I think, earlier this year or last year or something. It was pulled from the slate. It was supposed to have John Cena in it as a lawyer. It was supposed to be a goofy animated film Warner Bros. Didn't think that they had enough money in the box office numbers to try and pull in a crowd. The issue is this. I think you would have had enough money. But what you did before that, what they did before that, before Zazzaf took over, is they put everything on HBO Max and theaters on the same day. Why that's a big deal is because Dune only made $430 million when it could have made probably another 100, 200, 300 million more. Godzilla X Kong did a nice little number. But look at something like In the Heights. In the Heights was one of the most popular Broadway shows. They put it on HBO Max. Mortal Kombat didn't make a whole lot of money because of HBO Max. It's still getting a sequel. This is a smart idea, though. Don't use this as a tax write-off because they were just the distributor. They didn't think they had enough money wrapped up in this. So Amazon can buy this. Netflix can buy this. Boom. You got yourself a movie. Batgirl? They didn't want this. If you showed this movie to any of the studio heads, they would reject it with a 10-foot pole. Everyone besides Tubi. I think that Tubi would take it. Tubi would take it if they had enough money to give you. If they had like 80, 100, 150 million dollars to give you, they would probably take the rights to Batgirl. However, this is what I would have done. With Batgirl, I would have scrapped it too. If I would have seen how bad the movie was, I either would have scrapped it or just shoved it on Max. Scoob, nobody knew this film was even coming out. Nobody knew that movie was coming out. So why not just scrap it in the first place? Every single year you get a brand new Scooby-Doo animated movie coming to DVD that I watch every year anyways. I watch the new Scooby-Doo movies every year. Would I have watched this one? Yes. Would I have enjoyed it? Probably. Scoob was not the best film. I wanted to see Coyote versus Acme. I did. This one doesn't break my heart a whole lot because I know it's going to get picked up somewhere else. Sony has options. But there's that. And now we're going to go into the last topics, which is going to be our regularly scheduled stuff, except for Release Rewind, which I only do on Tuesday shows. And that's going to be the box office results. So the box office results look something like this. So as we already know, Inside Out 2 is making a whole ton of money. What they're not telling you is, well, let's just take a look at the weekend box office total, shall we? So, this is coming from the numbers. And the numbers say this. Deadpool and Wolverine is earning another $96 million this weekend. So it made $96 million opening weekend. This weekend, only losing 54%. Going down 54%, that's massive. With as big of an opening as that had, that's massive. Twisters earns another $22.8 million. Trap earns $15.4 million. Despicable Me 4 earns $11.4 million. And Inside Out 2 is still crawling along at $6.8 million. Let's go up here and see if there's anything on the daily chart. So the daily chart, yep, there it is. Borderlands, 1.3 billion. Oh, sorry, million. I read that wrong. Million, 1.3 million, $7 million for It Ends With Us. Well. Then you come down here and you look at something like Cuckoo. Cuckoo is a limited release right now. It's a limited release. But what's even crazier is you look at Deadpool Wolverine, $9.1 million. That's insane. But It Ends With Us, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to end up with probably $19, $20 million opening weekend, maybe a little bit more. And then coming up here again, there we go, Borderlands. I think Borderlands is going to open probably $15 million, maybe $15 million, if that. It wouldn't surprise me if I looked at it and it was sub $14 million. But there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited to see what happens at the box office this week? Are you excited to see what happens? And are you going to see anything in theaters this weekend? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So next up, we're going to do the fun segment. Every single show we do this, we're going to go and look at the Netflix top 10 in movies and in TV. So they look something like this. The Netflix top 10 in movies. Number 1 is Still, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Number 2 is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. Number 3, Trolls Band Together. Number 4, the original Tom Cruise. Well, the first film in the Jack Reacher series with Tom Cruise. Number 5, Cat in the Hat. Great. Number 6, White Chicks. Number 7, The Lorax. Number 8, Red. Number 9, Tarot. And number 10, The Emoji Movie. I don't hate that movie. I get some enjoyment out of it. It's a bad movie. It is. I really like The Lorax. I really like White Chicks. I liked Red. I saw it once. Have not seen Red 2. Tarot isn't too great. The Cat in the Hat is a bad movie. I have not seen Jack Reacher or Jack Reacher Never Go Back. I've not seen Trolls Band Together. And Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie it's a movie I watched. It's a disappointment. We're going to go down here to the Netflix top 10 TV shows. So they look something like this. Number 1, The Umbrella Academy. Number 2, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Number 3, Love is Blind UK. Number 4, Joe Rogan, Burn the Boats. Right? Yeah, Burn the Boats. Number 5, Fire Country. Number 6, Unsolved Mysteries. Number 7, Prison Break. Number 8, wow, Secret World of Sound with David Attenborough. Number 9, Simone Biles Rising. And number 10, Cobra Kai. So it has changed a little bit. But this is what I'm looking forward to. There's Netflix top 10, but this is a big week. This is a big week. I'm excited to have stuff to review for you on Tuesday and in the weeks coming next. So here we go. What's releasing this week in theaters and on streaming? Well, let's take a look. This is coming from releases.com, which is who I use. And we'll go into the comments and we will end this week's this show. So releases.com is showing me this. Borderlands is opening this weekend in theaters, of course, along with Cuckoo in limited theaters, I believe. It Ends With Us, which I will be seeing on Monday. The Bike Riders is on VOD and on Peacock. The Instigators, which I will be watching and reviewing for you on Tuesday, is now on Apple TV+. One Fast Move is on Amazon Prime. The Mousetrap is available on VOD. We will also be having a Netflix documentary, In the Mind of a Dog. I thought about watching that. I don't think I have anything to review on it, and I don't think I would have enough material for it, so I'm not going to review that. Coming down here a little bit more, we have a Netflix film called Mission Cross. There's a I'm not even going to try and say that. There's no way. I know that's a romance film on Netflix in a foreign language. Next week is a big week, though. Next week, we have Alien Romulus, which I will be giving my review of that one next Friday, along with my review of The Union. The Bike Riders, If Furiosa, Mad Max Saga comes to Blu-ray and DVD. And I will be watching Watchmen Chapter 1 probably next Friday, and I'll give you guys my review for that one next Friday, along with Mother's Instinct. Mother's Instinct, it depends on how much it is on VOD. If it's $20, I'm not going to rent it. If it's $5.99, I will rent it and give you guys my review of that probably on next Friday. We also have the brand new Hallmark film, My Dreams of You. I will also be talking about the Ansley McGregor film on Grey American Pure Flix, which is Candace Cameron Bure's brand new mystery series, as well as a early review of the brand new Hallmark Channel film, which premiered on Hallmark Movies Now first, called a Costa Rican Wedding with Rhiannon Fish and Christopher Russell. And besides that, oh yeah, and a Netflix film called Daughters, Gunner on VOD and in some cinemas. Looking down here a little bit more. Trying to see if there's anything else. I know that, there we go. I Can't Live Without You is a film that is getting a little bit of interest from me, but one thing I haven't seen anything for is all the way down here. I haven't seen a thing for The Crow. I haven't seen one thing of marketing for The Crow at all. At all. That's insane to me. But I don't know. We have a lot more coming out. I might be going and seeing The Forge with my family. The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat. That sounds like a fun time, along with The Killer on Peacock. So we have a lot more coming to you. And I hope that very, very soon. Oh, and also on the 23rd, we got Incoming. That is a film on Netflix that looks like a 1980s, 1990s sex comedy, a movie right up my alley. One of my favorite genres. They're stupid, they're fun, and I enjoy them. But that's everything, everybody. Let me know, are you excited for what's coming out? And I got a lot of reviews coming for you next week. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. We're going to go into the comments one more time before we end this off. Deadpool Wolverine is going to hit $1 billion. Trap looks like another M. Night Shyamalan flop. I'm not going to say it's an M. Night flop, because if you look at the budget, we still have a couple more weeks. I think the budget. What was the budget that? What was the budget that? The budget for Trap. I gotta try. Okay, Trap movie budget. Trap movie budget is $30 million. And the box office numbers right now are at worldwide 26.5. So I think it can make a profit. I'm not gonna say it's a flop, because you can't really consider something a flop if it's making a little bit of money. Unlike Borderlands. Borderlands is a borderline flop. Was going to see Borderlands, but I'll pass. If my theater got Borderlands, I would have seen Borderlands. I totally would have. But my theater got It Ends With Us, which is supposedly a better movie. Wait, that terrible Cat in the Hat movie is on Netflix? Yes, it is in the top 10 movies on Netflix, yes. And the reason why is because it's mostly families. It's families, man. Families love that stuff. You can sit your kid down and you can replay it. That's why the Super Mario Bros. Movie was on the Netflix top 10 for 17, 18, 19, maybe even 20 to 25 weeks. Ever since it was on there, it was just kept going. Same thing as Shrek. Shrek was in the top 10 every single week. Since I've been doing the show, and it was added on there, it was on the top 10. And Michael says, only film I'll see is Dee Dee. I know that that's a film. I saw a trailer for that. I saw a trailer for that in front of the Bike Riders. That looks like a very interesting film. I'm probably going to pass on that. Super Mario Bros. Movie is much better than The Cat in the Hat. Yes, it is. Both not very good films, but they are entertaining in their own ways. For the Mario Bros. Movie, you're watching for nostalgia. For Cat in the Hat, you're watching because it's a bad film and you just want to see if you can get some sort of enjoyment out of that. But thank you for stopping in here, Michael. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, everybody, I got a lot more reviews coming to you, a lot more news. And until next time, everybody, well, we got one more comment. One more comment. The animated movie, not the live action. Yes. The live action one is bad, but if you're looking at the filmmaking of the animated film for Mario as well, it's a bad film. The script is not all that great. You're watching for nostalgia and the sounds and for the characters. Hopefully with the second one, we get a better story, and it's better made. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Until next time, everybody.
So where did you go?